Hey folks, it's Lindsey Huddleston with SPS back in the building at the beautiful MGM Grand, downtown Detroit, and it's the Rachel Williams Foundation Annual Coaches Clinic, and it's getting off to a great start, forum I should say. It's getting off to a great start. I have first year head coach at Eastern Michigan, that's Billy Donlon, a warm person, but this is nothing new to him, just came from Clemson, it was hotter there, but this has been your stomping grounds. Michigan, you were part of the Beeline staff, my guy Sadi, Deshaun Wood, who's been representing for the Detroit Public Schools, Renaissance High School, is one of your players. So kind of a homecoming, right, Coach?
Absolutely. Michigan people have been really good to me.
Okay.
It's a great, I grew up mostly in Chicago, so I'm a Midwesterner.
Yeah, that's
a lot of similar values, blue collar, hard-nosed, tough, competitive. But Michigan people, and my experience at Michigan was amazing. And obviously you mentioned Sadi and Deshaun Wood, and those two guys are incredible people.
I get it. Coach, your energy is infectious. I could tell just coming in, I'm not being patronizing. How exciting is it to kind of come back during this time? Some people want the coach call it volatile time, whatever you want to call it, but how exciting is it to come back and kind of plant your flag at Eastern to start the new era?
Well, everything's challenging. Eastern's a great place, though. We can conquer all the challenges as long as we do it together. There's no doubt about it. We've got the right president. President Kelly is an alum. I've never worked anywhere, Lindsey, where the president is an alum of the institution.
Wow.
He just started, ironically, he started his first day, official day was April 1st.
Oh, wow.
So
it wasn't a joke.
It wasn't a joke, right?
It was serious. Okay.
Serious. And then, Scott Weatherby, our athletic director, there's great alignment, which you need. And we've got tremendous support. And then when you look at what Game Above has done for the university and their group, phenomenal. And we won't win unless we continue to get their support. They've been phenomenal for the entire university, not just athletics. They've done things in the educational side of things on campus. They're tremendous, and we all need to work together, and I get it. Before anybody gets involved and really wants to support our program, we got to prove our worth. That's how it works in Detroit. And I got no problem. That's how it should work, and we're going to prove our worth.
I love that, Coach. This is a time and era where many people are deciding to get out of coaching. Things are changing, not happening. And you're putting, straps to your ankles, jumping in both feet right now. What's keeping you motivated and making you dive deeper to keep this thing going?
Because if it weren't for coaches, I wouldn't have lived the life I've lived at almost 50 years of age. If it weren't for the coaches in my life and where I've experienced, where I've played, obviously I'm blessed. I came from, both my parents were amazing parents. My mom died in 2010, but my dad's an amazing man. And if it weren't for the coaches in my life, it starts in Evanston, Illinois, where I played in the FAM League, my Fellowship of African American Men League, when a group of African American men, they wanted to help the kids in their community. And they didn't care what the kids looked like. They didn't care their backgrounds. They just wanted to help them. And I was MVP 7th and 8th grade year.
Let it be known.
Let it be known. But Dudley Brown was my coach there, and then my high school coach, Brian James, went on to coach in the NBA. His first NBA job was with the Pistons with Doug Collins. So I've been around some amazing coaches, and my college coach, Jerry Wainwright, and my position coach, Brad Barnell, who's now the coach at Clemson. So if it weren't for coaches, and I get it, that's not a criticism. If you choose to enter a different profession, there might be reasons. But for me, I love the competition, but more importantly, I love to watch young men become men, and that's why we do it.
I love that. Well, you already had a crowded reception area. We got you through there. Tonight it's going to be filled up with young coaches looking to ascend and also get better. What kind of advice would you have for the crowd that's going to be here tonight?
Well, the first, I just give them two, Lindsey.
Okay.
Two, be where your feet are.
Oh, wow.
Too many times, you're worried about this is next, this, that is it. Just be where your feet are, and whatever your boss, your head coach asks you to do it to the best of your ability. And then I always tell them in the game of basketball, master as best you can an area of the game of basketball. Make yourself invaluable. And it could be pressing, it could be zone offense, zone defense. Master a part of the game of basketball so you become invaluable. And then as you get older, as you continue to grow, continue to master other aspects. But try to become a master in an area of the game of basketball.
I love both those, and also full disclosure, my background is sports psychology, so I'm putting my sports psychology hat on now. Those great things you listed, being where your feet are, being present, and mastering something. Why is that many people don't be where their feet are and find something they can master to be a specialist?
You tell me. You got the psychology. Come on, man. You just let that out of the bag.
But you're ground zero. You see it. What do you find yourself fighting against?
I think a lot of it is, and it wasn't our generation. We just missed it. But a lot of the generations after us, and it is a criticism, but it's not their fault. It's the microwave generation. Sure. They just, nobody cooks that turkey in the microwave, right? Nobody makes that ham in the microwave. The things that you want the most, that taste the best, that needs time to marinate. And it's harder, I think, for the younger generation. And it's not their fault because they got their phone and they go from Twitter to Facebook to Instagram. Like, the attention span just isn't what it used to be. And I think that's a big problem. And then as kind of the generation or two above them, we got to try to help with that, right? And that's a great challenge for us too, because we're probably like I could talk forever. I'm long-winded, so you got to try to shorten it up to get to their mindset too, right? You got to try to meet in the middle.
I
Yeah,
like that.
so,
I like that, Coach. Now you got me thinking. What would a Billy Donlon practice be like? What is that like?
Well, it's going to be intense and competitive, and I've shortened it. But I want, when people come, to see the pace and the tempo of our practice. You know, big coaches that have coached me, a big thing is coach on the fly. You know, the game is not like football. Football's a great game where you get 30 seconds in between plays. You got coordinators calling in. Our game isn't played that way. It's not a criticism of either sport. And so in practices, I don't want to have to stop often, because the game doesn't have stoppages other than the media timeouts and timeouts. So I think you'll see a quick pace, quick tempo practice, and you'll see a demanding practice, but not demeaning. I learned this a few years ago. It's important that we as coaches coach with loving firmness. Loving firmness and not harshness. There's a big difference.
It is a difference, right? You think sometimes the ability to be in a position of authority allows that to fall in one category and not the other, because you are you're the man, you can make that decision?
Yeah, and you got to be careful, because power is a powerful thing, right? And you got to be careful how you handle your power when you're the person in charge.
Right.
And I'd like to think after all these years, I certainly made mistakes when I was a younger head coach, but I've certainly grown. I think the biggest thing is you got to give your staff. We've got a great staff. You've got to give your staff, autonomy and ability, not micromanage them.
Is that what you've experienced with your staff?
Yeah, I have. I've been blessed. Coach Beeline let me take over the defense the year I was there, and Brian Smothers and I were together when he was there. Now he's at Wayne State. I love to see the great job he's been doing.
Absolutely.
Chris Collins when I was at Northwestern, and Brad Burnell, I've been blessed. Now some of that has been earned.
Sure.
Right.
Sure.
But you've got to have work for people that are allowing you to earn it. Okay. And I've been blessed that way, and it'll be the same with the guys on our staff at Eastern.
Coach, you got me fired up, man. I'm ready to do something. And the last thing I would share, and I'll let your comments be the last one. My first basketball camp was at Eastern Michigan University. Went up there first couple
Coach
of weeks.
Braun? Who was the coach?
Yeah, exactly right, because Lorenzo Neely was a standout player. Was a neighbor of mine, lived right across the street. So went up there and enjoyed it. And it was I did the first week, and I got into some youthful trouble the second week. And my mom said the best way to punish you is to sit you out of coaching. So that took me from being a collegiate hooper to sitting right here talking to you. But either way, no complaints. But Eastern, there's a great legacy there, and I know you're happy to be there. But any final things you want to share before we let you go?
No, just really excited, humbled, and grateful for the opportunity. Eastern Michigan is a special place. It's a great university. It's the second oldest university in the state of Michigan, behind Michigan, right? That's big time. It's lasted a long time, which means that anytime you last a long time, it means you have a great foundation. And the alums, the current students, the current administration, the former administration have a lot to do with that. And our job is to live up to the excellence that's been established at Eastern Michigan.
Well, I see you doing that, Coach. It's such a pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Spend some time with you, okay?
Thanks.
With that being said, guys, this is Lindsey Huddleston with SPS, and we'll see you next time. Peace.